me, we've got some vacancies here. If you'd like to, a little test first, of course, he gave me, but he said we've got some vacancies, and if you'd like to come on board, we'll be very, very happy to have you with us. So that's where it all started, back 17 years ago.
Yeah, he was quite a remarkable man, wasn't he?
Most definitely, most definitely.
Ross, after all those years, you've decided to, well, we can't say hang up the mic, can we?
Well, in a way,
turn off the mic or what?
Well, in a way I have. I still do a lot of music at home, but I just felt that the time had basically come when I knew I'd been around long enough behind the mic. And it was the same. I was a teacher for 40 years, a high school teacher for 40 years before, and I knew then when to retire, and the same feeling was coming across me here. And I thought, no, I've had enough, and I'll finish on a high. And I thoroughly enjoyed here. It's been a marvellous experience. But I wanted to spend more, I know it's rather cliched, hackneyed, call it whatever you like, but I'd spent enough time, I thought, here at the studio. And I wanted to spend more time with my family. I wanted to travel before I couldn't travel. Bought a new car, and we've been taking off and doing a little bit of touring and getting things done around the house, being home when the workmen arrive to see that everything's done properly. That's the big plus for me. Maybe only a small thing, but I find it really, really beneficial, and I'm extremely happy. But nice to come back today and meet the old folk.
Absolutely, absolutely. So with your travel, where have you been?
Well, we just recently, not too far away, not too far afield, new car, still trying to learn how to drive it, and what all the bells and whistles mean, and the lights and the voices that talk to me. I'm still trying to work it out. So just very gingerly headed off to Rocky the other day to meet a mate of mine that I used to flat with in London many, many years ago. 55 years, haven't sighted him for 55 years. Went down there, and then we stayed at Yeppoon for a week in Emu Park, had a travel around there, home again, and now we want to head off to Cairns before the wet weather starts.
Right.
So,
Great.
yeah. Just basically, each day we sort of have a bit of a routine, my wife and I. We do our thing. Anne's into art, of course, she loves to paint.
Yes.
I love to do my music. Then we head off for morning teas, lunches out with people, and then go for a couple of drives sort of out to the country a little bit. Anne takes photographs, we return home, and the next day we do it over again. But
wow.
It's great.
Okay,
it's great.
Congratulations. So, getting back to my 105 and all those memories that we conjure up over the years, share with us just some of those thoughts that you have about being with my 105 over those years. Some of those things that you thoroughly enjoy, and perhaps just a little bit of an outline of some of the challenges that you had to face. Can you do that with us?
I can do that. Probably the biggest memory, or the one that sticks in my mind really, really clearly, is when I spoke to Stephen Kent, the general manager, about starting up an Irish music show. Stephen wasn't in favour of it. I'd been here at my 105 for about 12 months, and I said to Stephen, I'd like to start up an Irish country music show. And he said, oh, no way. I think he was thinking of reels and jigs only, but I was thinking in a different tangent altogether. And he said, look, well, what I'll do, I'll be fair, I will put it to the board, we'll have a talk about it, you come to the meeting. And I did attend the meeting, and he said you can have 1 hour after the members decided, you can have 1 hour on a Sunday morning, and we'll make it from 8 till 9, and we'll see how it goes. Well, I did that for 2 weeks, and then Stephen came to me after 2 weeks and said, I want to tell you about the Irish Country Music Show. I thought it was going to receive the chop, but he said, I'd like you to extend it 2 hours. So back in 2009, it went to 2 hours, and still a 2-hour show, and that's the memory that I have most in my mind of my 105, starting something that became really, really big. And I meet so many people who say, oh, you're Ross on the Irish show on my 105, and that's how they seem to identify me, and still very, very popular. Stephen was magic. Charmaine, our present general manager, she's magic as well. She stepped into this job and she's just taken it to new heights. I see the station's gone so far ahead. And I reckon Stephen's up there looking down saying, Charmaine, you've done a fantastic job to keep my station, as he used to call it, going so well.
Absolutely, absolutely. He had so much knowledge, didn't he? And
He did.
And was in favour of just sharing that knowledge with us.
Exactly.
Giving us feedback.
Well, I believe that he started in radio when he was about 7 or 8, because I spoke to his brother, and Stephen's brother said to me, Ross, you wouldn't believe it, but when he was a young kid, 7, 8, 9 years of age, he set himself up in a room in our house, in our family home. He put a little box outside that he managed to put on air. He'd light up the on air sign. No one was allowed to go in there. He used to sit there and play these records, talk into a fake microphone. He said, and my mother said, he's going to make a great radio announcer. So he basically started all those years ago, but he had a voice that was absolutely pure magic. Just such, you knew he was in authority when he spoke. So lovely voice.
Absolutely.
Right.
And had a sense of humour.
He had a very, very dry sense of humour, most definitely a dry sense of humour, and could use the eyes in a certain way behind those big red glasses in a way that I've never found anybody else to be able to do. You knew by the way he used his eyes that whether he was in a good mood or a bad mood.
That's true.
Yes,
Very much
most
so.
definitely.
Very much so. And if he walked in through the doors today, he would be, I think, very satisfied as to how the station's
Most
progressing these
definitely.
days.
Yes, most definitely. He'd be more than satisfied. He'd be over the moon, absolutely over the moon. And giving Charmaine a big cuddle and saying, I knew you could do it, girl.
That's
Yes.
right. So, getting back just briefly to the Irish program, did you ever get any feedback from like a listener in Ireland at all? Or?
I've had many. In
Have you
fact,
really?
some of the
Okay.
artists that I was playing are well known in Ireland, and I don't know how it happened, but contacted me through my mobile, so I'm still trying to find out how that happened, and said that they were delighted by streaming to find out that I was playing their music. Now that was that was B.G. Pollock actually, who messaged me, and Joe Murray, who sings all of his songs, also messaged me. I've got a fellow in Munhall, Pennsylvania called Dennis, who every day used to message the studio here when I was on Usher's Arvo from 1 through until 4 and request songs. They weren't always Irish, but he always requested songs, and he used to listen to the Irish show as well. And even though time differences came into it, he'd sit up 2 and 3 in the morning and have my 105 blaring out on his stoop, as they call it, on his stoop,
on the front stoop.
on the front stoop. So I said, that front stoop must certainly, he said, I have it a full bore, Ross, and I thought, well, what about the poor neighbours? But on his stoop, he sat there early hours of the morning playing music from my 105. So, I mean, the station reaches thousands of people that we don't even really know about. We don't even know about.
Yes.
And Stephen always reckons, I don't know how he worked this out, what magic formula he used. He said, if you receive a phone call from a listener, you can bet your bottom dollar that 300 others are listening for that one person who has called you or messaged you. So I don't know whether it's just something he plucked out of the air to make us feel good, but we'll stick to that one.
That's an interesting statistic.
It
isn't
is an interesting statistic,
Right.
yes, most definitely.
Probably be some validity in that too.
I should imagine so.
Absolutely.
Definitely,
Yeah.
yes.
That's fantastic. And when someone was talking to me one day, they were just talking about the programs, and someone said Irish country. Now, people normally associate, from what I can see and hear, country and western would be American, Australian and so on. So do you have any thoughts about Irish country music? What, is that different to American and Australian country and western, or is it just country?
They have a genre, Irish country. I call it Irish country. I mean, a lot of the covers are done by Irish country singers, like Robert Mizell, who really isn't Irish. He is an American who came to the Emerald Isle, met a lovely Colleen, married her, settled down, and he's been there ever since for over 30 years. Well, he now is regarded as Irish. Isla Grant from Scotland. She's not Irish, but anyway, we class her in the genre of Irish country. They do a lot of covers, but they also write their own, the younger ones coming through, people like Derek Ryan and Jimmy Masters. They are young guys who are coming through the Irish country arena. They're writing their own music. And I believe that the Irish country music, it's the accompaniment that goes with it that makes it purely Irish, the real Irish country music. It's definitely the way. And I mean, you go to Ireland and you stay at the pubs there, and 11 o'clock at night, that's when the entertainment starts. And you've only got to go downstairs. And I mean, it's all quiet until 11 o'clock, and it's a lot of Irish country music. You know, we always were amazed at that when we travelled through Ireland. The entertainment doesn't start till 11, and there was the Irish country, and it's the accompaniment, the instruments they use, just magic.
Yes. Is it after a few Guinness?
After many Guinness. After many Guinness.
Many Guinness. Okay, the songs get louder and better.
Yes, and the actions, and yes. And it's wonderful to see the young people joining in with the old people there, dancing around. You know, it's almost as if we're all one. We don't sort of segregate. You know, age has nothing to do with it. So people get in and have a damn good time.
That's great. That's great. And with regards to young people these days, some of the others I've been talking to about radio today, the older folk are saying that radio takes them way back to when they were young. And they used to listen to those radio serials.
Yes.
You know,
So
go home from school and listen to
Porsche Faces
Live.
Live.
How when a girl marries.
Yes,
I think,
When a
was
Girl
another
Marries,
one.
Blue Hills.
Blue Hills.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of wonderful memories.
Yes.
About listening to those radio serials. And there were those younger kids who used to listen to things like Hop Harrigan and Biggles.
Yeah, Smokey Dawson used to be on at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I remember that as a kid, listening to Smokey Dawson. And we'd sit around the wireless, as it was called, never radio. We'd sit around the Bakelite wireless.
Yes.
Even some were, if you were classy, you had a big sort of radio or wireless stuck in the corner.
Yeah.
We'd all sit around. I lived in flats for a lot of my life.
Right.
And so all the flat kids, we'd meet in our flat or someone, you know, one of the other kids' flats.
Yes.
Afternoon, after homework was done and we'd had a feed, all sit around, listen to Smokey Dawson and listen to country music. A lot of country music played in those years.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely wonderful.
Fantastic.
It was a pure, clean, wonderful life.
Yes. And you'd get the dials and you'd be turning the knobs.
That's right,
and
and getting
station.
yes.
Oh, yeah, there it is. It's got it. We've got it.
Yes.
Sit around and listen. And we've also been just mentioning, Ross, too, that we used to use our imagination listening to those serials.
Yes.
You know, Dick Tracy and these others. And I used to close my eyes and put my ear up against the radio and listen. And I could imagine these things. These things were happening.
Yes.
Whereas it's a little bit different with television today.
It is.
That it's just there in front of you.
Yeah.
And I think too as well that they used to have old radio stations. You know, even today you can go onto the internet and websites and listen to some of the old radio stations. And here at My 105 we've had Dad and Dave, haven't we?
Yes,
and
yes, very popular. Very popular, Dad and Dave.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And How Green Was My Cactus is another one.
Yes.
So I think with those particular radio programs that we've had here today, we've had a bit of a, I suppose you can say, a fan base with regards to some of those, because some of them would bring back memories.
Yes.
From days of gone.
And I think, you know, because everything is big screen TV now, everything's there. We don't have to think. It's made us basically lazy. All the images are there. But there is an ad playing on the TV at the moment. I don't know whether you've seen it, where the ad starts off with lots of action and things spitting out here and everywhere like that. And then you see a woman with headphones on and she's listening to a sort of a podcast or something like it would equate to a radio play or something like that. And they say, all of this you have imagined while you were watching undies dry at the laundromat. So she's sitting there watching her undies dry in the thing, and she's listening, and she's imagining all of these things happen. She doesn't need a TV to see all of that.
Okay.
So it's very similar to radio, those radio plays where you used to sit there and imagine. Your imagination may be different from mine, and yeah, it just radio. They say radio will eventually fade out. I know I do a lot of streaming now. I mean, streaming for music, but I still think they'll never fade out. Radio, it'll always be. It'll be there because you've got to have a voice. You've got to have a voice behind the mic. Yes.
Agreed. So Ross, over the years that you've been at My 105, you haven't been approached as being poached by any of the major radio stations at all to make millions of dollars?
No, I was very happy just doing what I was doing here, and I don't think I could stand the pressure. I think those big commercial radio stations, there's a lot of pressure goes in there, and a lot of backbiting, and there was none of that here. It was always, you know, I just felt my time was finished now, and it's good to know that there are younger ones coming through. We need that in radio, and this station does an absolutely fantastic job. And so many people talk about My 105.
That's great.
You bump into people and they say, oh, My 105, yes, it's a great station. So, yes, and it's not just country. We do have the classics, the legends, call them whatever you like.
Exactly.
So they're interspersed amongst the country songs, and country is coming to the front, most definitely.
For sure. We have also, at My 105, on occasions provided things like trophies for some of the sporting clubs as well. And I know at Serena Golf Club, the veterans there have a sponsorship from My 105 with regards to the longest putt for men and women in a particular competition. And they look forward to it. The veterans they look forward to it. And you know, they're not major trophies in the sense,
but still, they mean a lot.
And they're very usable, if you like, trophies. And it's good to have that sort of connection. And I think there are opportunities for more involvement with community in the station, and particular projects that they might want to.
And I can see that happening each time. You know, you listen to My 105, you think, oh, that wasn't on when I was there, so they've branched out into that. That's good. They've branched out into something else, and there's so many different people coming on board, and definitely great to see.
Ross, look, it's been fantastic catching up with you again, and on behalf of the station, you know, we wish you all the very best in your retirement.
Yes, it is retirement.
And you've still got a fan base, so people will still be asking after you, but all the very best to you and the family, and we look forward to catching up with you again.
Thanks, Dion. Thanks very much.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.